Coventry is an exciting place to spend a few days, especially if you're a fan of staying busy. Located a mere half-hour from Birmingham and 2 hours northwest of London, this vibrant spot is packed with fun things to do. Tour the ruins of a medieval cathedral, enjoy a quiet picnic in a country park, or visit the impressive motor vehicle museum, where guests can learn about the city's important history in the auto industry. Whether you're hoping to catch a show, traipse around medieval ruins, or tempt your taste buds with gastronomical delights, you won't be bored during your visit to this exciting city. So, here is the list of the 12 best things to do in Coventry, England. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Here we go. Number 1. Coventry Transport Museum. Given its manufacturing heritage, Coventry is an appropriate place for a transport museum. Here you can run the rule over the world's largest collection of British-made vehicles, among which are many Jaguars, Triumphs, Humbers, and Standards. Some of these have exciting tales to tell, like the Austin Metro owned by Lady Diana, a Humber staff car that General Montgomery rode in during the Second World War, and the bus that carried Coventry City football team on their parade after they won the FA Cup in 1987. Two head-turners are the Thrust 2 and the Thrust SSC, which broke the world land speed records in 1983 and 1997. The latter hit 763 miles per hour and became the first road vehicle to break the sound barrier. Number 2. Coventry Cathedral. A dramatic juxtaposition greets visitors to the Coventry Cathedral, welcoming them to worship in the new cathedral and soak up the history in the ruined old cathedral that stands beside it. In 1918, the Church of St. Michael was erected on this site. Its dramatic structure rose high above the city centre, its remarkable interior awash in magnificent details of sacred importance. Sadly, the cathedral burned along with many of the city's buildings when bombs were dropped on the city during the Second World War. The remains, which include a Gothic spire and remarkably ornate walls, were left as a memorial. Today, they serve as a memento of the peace and forgiveness that arose from the bombing, as well as a reminder of the immense damage caused by war. Number 3. Herbert Art Gallery and Museum. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Herbert Art Gallery and Museum. One of the best tourist attractions in Coventry, this expansive space is what happens when a history museum and art gallery have a baby. Packed with exhibits, this popular venue contains historical and archaeological artifacts, natural history specimens, the art of all genres, and a detailed history of Coventry from the 1500s to today. Set within a spectacular building topped by a wave of glass, the bright and airy space plays host to some of the world's best creations, as well as a records archive and a learning center featuring interesting talks by experts in multiple fields. The exhibits are grouped into 4 main categories: visual arts, archaeology, natural history, and social and industrial history. Number 4. Kenilworth Castle. Southeast of the city lies one of the most significant and prominent castles in English history, Kenilworth Castle. Constructed by the Normans during the early 1120s, the castle contended to be at the centre of English history for hundreds of years. In 1266 the castle was subject to a 6-month-long siege that is thought to be the longest ever in medieval England. The castle welcomed Elizabeth I in 1575 with great pomp and ceremony and was eventually destroyed by Parliament forces during the Civil War. It was then that the once grand castle fell into disrepair. Today you can take a tour of the legendary castle and learn all about its vibrant past. Number 5. War Memorial Park. After the First World War, the city bought 50 acres of land from the lords of Styvek Manor to lay out a park in memory of Coventry's war dead. The gardens were completed across the 1920s and 30s, while the focal point is the 27-metre monument built from Portland stone and dedicated in 1927. At the start of the 2010s, the park was given a multi-million-pound makeover and has since earned coveted green flag status for its upkeep and facilities. In one part are the memorial and garden, while the other has playing fields, a splash and play park, a golf course and tennis courts. In spring and summer, there's a lot going on, like the Sikh and Hindu Vaisakhi Mela Festival, the Caribbean Festival, and the famous Godiva Festival, which we'll talk about later. Number 6. FarGo Village. Explore the entrepreneurial smarts of 42 independent business owners at this artistically repurposed industrial space. Grab an ethically sourced pour-over at Common Ground Cafe as you thumb through colourful displays of artwork celebrating Coventry's finest homegrown artists. There are a handful of niche stores, including 60s-inspired interiors shop Auntie Olive's Attic and Sergeant Bilko's Vintage Emporium, which is stuffed with film collectibles and memorabilia. Plus, the international street food stalls will satisfy your appetite. We rate Bib Noodle Bar for its silky hand-rolled noodles and plump dumplings. Visit Factory on the weekends to try other street food favorites, from award-winning burgers and wood-fired pizzas to brownies and cocktails. Number 7. Coventry Music Museum. As a city home to a wide range of successful musicians, bands, and artists, there is no surprise that Coventry is host to a music museum. This museum is a must-visit for any serious music fan and makes for excellent viewing. The independently run museum makes for a great outing for the family and brings Coventry's music scene to life. Throughout the museum, you can observe exhibitions on historical music, electronic music pioneer Delia Derbyshire and, arguably Coventry's biggest musical export, the Specials. A whole exhibition is dedicated to the two-tone band, taking you through the history of the band and its wider cultural and social effects. Number 8. Brandon Marsh Nature Reserve. Visiting the Brandon Marsh Nature Reserve is one of the best things to do in Coventry for bird watchers. A serene, 92-hectare sanctuary, this is a perfect place to visit to spot your favorite British fowl. Make use of the 9 bird hides to get up close and personal to the area's most prized creatures, then wander the multiple trails that wind their way through the property. Don't forget to pack binoculars and a good camera. The Kingfisher Trail takes about 40 minutes to complete, while the shorter Woodpecker Trail takes close to 20 minutes. Both are well suited for those in wheelchairs or pushing strollers. Along the way, you'll pass grassland, woodland, reed beds, and plenty of pools created by the extraction of gravel many years ago. Speaking of children, they'll also love the brass rubbing trail, guided tours, and pond dipping activities. Number 9. St Mary's Guildhall. A window on Coventry's distinguished medieval past, St Mary's Guildhall was built in the 1340s and then enlarged to its current proportions at the end of the century. It was the headquarters of the influential St Mary's Guild, and then a unified set of guilds until they were suppressed by Henry VIII in the 16th century. At that time, the mayor and corporation of Coventry moved in and remained until the 20th century. St Mary's Guildhall is free to enter and is one of the most beautiful surviving guildhalls in the UK. You can hear about Shakespeare and Mary Queen of Scots' stay at St Mary's in Tudor times and admire collections of art, weapons, armour, and furniture. Best of all is the Great Hall, which has medieval stained glass, angels carved into its ceiling beams, and one of the UK's most valuable tapestries. Number 10. Coombe Abbey Park. While wandering around Coombe Abbey Park is one of the best things to do in Coventry at any time of year, spring is one of the most beautiful times to visit. From mid-April through May, the bluebells are in bloom, blanketing the park in a sea of violet so breathtaking, you'll think you've entered a fairy tale. Pack a picnic and enjoy a whole day spent exploring this 500-acre wonderland. It's home to a sparkling lake, verdant woodland, and captivating gardens. You'll want plenty of storage space for all the photos you'll take, and binoculars if you're an avid bird watcher. Trails wind around the property, making it easy to find your way. Also on site are a discovery center, playground, Go Ape, adventure ropes course, a fishery, and an area where guests can feed ducks and swans. Didn't pack lunch? No worries. You'll find plenty of tasty treats in the cafe. Number 11. Warwick Arts Centre. The well-regarded University of Warwick is 5 miles southwest of Coventry and is the second largest arts complex outside of London's Barbican. The Warwick Arts Centre is in the middle of the university campus and puts on more than 3,000 individual events a year. There's a drama by leading theatre companies, art exhibitions, national opera, talks with Nobel Prize-winning writers, comedy, classical and contemporary music, dance, and movie screenings across 5 venues. Being part of an educational institution, there are often post-performance talks by artists and actors, as well as theatre workshops by some of the country's top companies. Number 12. Lady Godiva Statue. Lady Godiva was a real historical figure, an 11th century noblewoman who was wife to Leofric, Earl of Mercia. According to a popular legend, she rode naked, covered only by her long hair, on horseback through Coventry in protest at her husband's excessive taxation of his tenants. Her modesty was preserved because the whole city averted their gaze, save for one man, a peeping Tom, who is supposed to have been struck blind as a poetic punishment. This is the origin of the term peeping Tom, while the statue of Godiva's legendary ride can be seen atop a solemn plinth on Broadgate and was erected in 1949. Also on Broadgate is a clock with a figure of Godiva that appears on the hour, watched by peeping Tom. The last word. So, guys, this was the best list of things to do in Coventry. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. People who come to this city are amazed by all of the awesome things there are to do and see. Coventry, locally known simply as Cov, has so much on offer. At first glance, it may seem like a bit of a concrete jungle, but whether you're a music lover, art fanatic, engine enthusiast, or a fan of a good, locally brewed ale, suffice it to say, your visit to Coventry will be great fun. So, if you love to travel and you want to see the whole world, then Traipse is the channel that gives you a list of the best places to visit in the world. Make sure you subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for latest upcoming travel videos. Bye bye, see you in the next video.